So, we've got a bit of testing to do with the beko. Let me explain a bit in case you didn't understand what was happening in the last two videos, or, well, not last two videos, no, because you won't have seen them. This is coming out way before those two. So, the two videos I'm talking about will be coming out in April, mid-April, because they're being added to the list of scheduled videos. This one's coming out the day after I've recorded it. So today's Sunday. You're going to see this on Monday of the same week. So basically what's been happening is I put this on a 90-degree wash, a cotton 90-degree wash with 3 towels in it, and it decided to heat all the way to 80, and then the heater went off in the heat retention stage, didn't come back on, and it went down to 52 while I was making breakfast. I'm not sure how. Either way, the heater wasn't coming on when it should be during the heat retention. So I ended up going to 52 somehow. Don't know how it managed that. It probably added some cold water or something into it and then didn't manage to heat it back up for whatever reason. So I thought better test it again. I did a Costons 40 wash after that anyway. That heated to 30 degrees roughly, but not how it should have, because it took longer than it should have. So I'm wondering if maybe there's a loose connection. I'm not going to look yet. I'm going to run this through a 90-degree testing wash with a load of bedding and towels in, because it doesn't really matter if it overheats or underheats on this, or doesn't heat at all, because it's bedding and towels. They can survive any temperature. So bedding towels and face masks and tea towels are going in pretty much on this wash, and this is just a testing wash. So I'm aware you've seen a Costons 90 default wash before, but it needs to be tested on something that I know is going to heat and a cycle that I know really well. And 60 degrees only heats to 51 or so, so that's not enough to test the full heating capacity of. So on Costons 90, it should heat to 75, this beko, judging by what it's done all its life, or at least all the time I've been here. So if it heats to 75, stays at 75 during the heat retention, then we're all good. If it doesn't, if it overheats, or if it doesn't reach 75, give or take a few degrees, then we might have a problem. And if it cuts out, we've got an even bigger problem. So I'm going to load it up and we're going to go ahead and test it out. So obviously I'm not going to spoil anything on Instagram until this video has been released, because I think if I do that, there's no point releasing this video. So there's a dressing gown and a towel and a hand towel and another 2 hand towels, 2 pillowcases and a bed sheet, 2 tea towels and 3 face masks. Now the interesting thing is the 2 face masks I've just put in there I know can survive a 90-degree wash. However, this one, my special health mask, I'm not sure. It feels like it's a different material, but if it doesn't survive it, I've got 2 more face masks, so I'm going to throw it in anyway, because that's not been washed yet. I've worn it twice since I got it, but it should do with wash. I'm going to add these socks just because they were supposed to go in the last wash, but they were underneath all this stuff and I didn't know. So I'm going to put these in. Now for this one, I'm not going to put in my wash balls because they are plastic. And if that for some reason heats too much, these will melt. So I don't want melted plastic over the clothes, really. That'll seize them all together. This, however, I will add, because that's the deodorant holder, and that's more bendy stuff than the wash balls, so I think it's stronger. Anyway, it's designed for being put in the washing machine. These are, but I don't think they're designed for 90-degree washes, really. They're designed for tumble dryers as well. They're washing and drying balls, so they're designed for both. But I don't risk putting them in this wash because I don't know what will happen. I'm going to put in the usual amount of detergent, which is going to be just about 100 millilitres or so. Well, as much, oh whoops, that's not helpful. How much does this hold? That's 70, so probably about 85 millilitres is going in there. And no colour cat. Yeah, I might add a colour catcher actually because there's a new mask in there, so I might as well. By the way, these bags work really well for colour catchers, so if you want to pick one of those up from wherever, I don't know where it came from, but I'm sure if you search delicate bag or something, then it will come up. But basically, it stops the colour catchers from going down here in the door sill, which clogs up the pump, and we've had it so many times on this machine because the gap's a lot wider than it is on the back, on the LG rather. So I think on the LG it wouldn't happen, at least not as easily, but on this it does. So basically you just throw it in the bag and then throw that in the machine. The bag's too big to go down that door sill, obviously. And then there's a little thing here that you can tie it with, so you just pull that down, then that won't move during the wash. So then I just throw that in on the top. It also stops the thing from sticking to the door, because the colour catchers like to stick to the door a lot. That won't stick to the door. Another thing that's useful for is liquid pods, like detergent pods and detergent tablets and stuff that always end up in the door sill. That should stop them ending up in the door sill. Anyway, that's enough rambling. This is a testing video. So, I know you've seen a Cotton Standard 90 before, but this is testing. I can't do times over 90, much as I would like to do times over 90 for testing. You can't expect anything out of a times over cycle, but a cotton cycle should be the one that heats the most. Although they all heat roughly the same, the 90-degree washes. Baby and toddler heats the same as cotton. It's just got an extra rinse on it and a 2-minute longer wash. And time saver's a lot shorter because it does those time saver special rinses. I think the wash is about the same length as cotton's. And the final spin's obviously shorter. So I think that's where the hour gets cut off on the time saver cycle. So I'm going to start that, yeah, and I'm going to add softener. So the softener I'm going to be adding is this stuff. Now this is quite nice smelling stuff actually, I quite recommend it. I think we got it from Aldi. So if you know an Aldi, then it might be a nice idea to get some. I'm going to put 2 capfuls in because it's only a small cap, and that fills the softener straight up to about halfway. So I find that's a good amount for an almost half load. I mean an almost full load rather. So I think that I've got about 6 kilograms worth of stuff in there. In a 7 kilogram machine. So what we're most interested in is when it starts heating and the whole time it's heating, because that's when it could fail at any point. I've not seen this machine give an error. What it does is it usually just turns off, and then if you go into test mode afterwards, you can see what was wrong with it. So like, for example, when we were doing the bath mat on fast wash test, all of those times it skipped the final spin, if you saw the display when I put it in service stand, it's an E18, which is an unbalanced error. So that if you want to get an idea of how that works, then that video will be out probably a few weeks or so, I can't remember. So yeah, now we're just waiting to see what happens. Seems like there's another sock in there that I didn't notice, but oh well. So So I'm going to obviously stay here for the entire length of the wash cycle, so that I can see what happens and see if it breaks, or see if it just does everything normally like it did on the last 2 cycles. The one thing that's interesting is it's not given me a single error. I even put it in service mode before this, before I did this cycle, and it did everything perfectly fine. Like, no errors at all. It said E dash dash at the start, which means there's no saved error codes. So no errors since I've done the last test mode. And it ran through it all. I don't know where the heating stage is in the beko service mode. I'm not sure about that. I think it might be number 11, the one just before it drains. But I didn't let it do that because that takes ages. And I'll just do it on the wash instead, like this. But it ran through it, other than that, perfectly fine. Did all the spins, did all the tumbles and stuff. Didn't do the usual glitch, which is interesting. If you don't know what the usual glitch is, it's basically, it will skip the tumbles and sometimes the spin. For no reason, either. It can even do it when it's empty, so it's not like it's anything to do with the load in there. But I think if it detects a load in there, then it will do that for safety reasons. As in, skip the spin for safety reasons. That's just what I assume happens whenever it skips the spin and not the tumble. Sometimes it skips the tumbles and just goes straight onto filling, which is after both clockwise and anti-clockwise tumbles, and then the spin. So. Just for a bit of background information, I know everything else works other than the heating stage, kind of. I'm not sure about. It heats, or at least it has been, but not how it's meant to. It did do quite an unbalanced final spin on the last one. And that towel looks like it's pulled up with something else. There's a few towels pulled up there. Hopefully that'll get distributed during the wash. Anyway, I'm going to let it continue. I'm going to try not to talk too much because I'm good at that. Good at talking too much. We'll just see what happens. So I think I can hear the heater on already. I don't think it's supposed to be heating yet, but I can hear something like a kettle noise. Let me take my headphone out. Actually, I think I might be in the kitchen. I don't think it's heating yet. I think this is just a saturation phase. Yeah, that's just the vacuum cleaner in the other room. So I don't think it heats until about 20 minutes remaining. I mean 2 hours and 20 minutes remaining. Well, imagine if it did that long without heating. Right, let's check the temperature. Just while it's not heating, just to see. Okay, so we're at about 12 degrees or so. I think that's about the temperature it comes in at, so between 6 and 12. Obviously it's a warmer day today than it was last week, so it'll be coming in warmer. That was my logic there. You'll have to excuse the background noise. There's vacuuming going on. Still nothing. Now I wonder, is it supposed to be heating now? I think the tumble, I can't tell whether the tumble patterns change. I put the wrong load in here for this test. Because that load, you can't really see when the tumble pattern is changing. I know for a fact that when it gets down to 214 it should be heating, because I remember testing it on the last 90 cycle. So if it's not heating by then, I'm going to say there's a problem with it. I'm not going to stop it, I'm going to let it do the full wash, but unless obviously something happens, like it blows up, but let's not hope it doesn't. Let's hope it doesn't do that, because that would be the worst case scenario. Nothing's wrong with it, that should make it do that, so I wouldn't worry. If anything does blow up, it'll be the heater. Yeah, the heater's definitely not on, because you can't hear it. 12.5. It's only warming up by 0.1 of a degree every minute or so. And when the heater's on, it usually heats up by 1 degree per minute. Got one more item to add quick. So we're just going to put this bath mat in. That takes up to 7 kilograms. Technically 8 kilograms, but we'll just ignore that. It's filling up with water. That'll be because I added the bath mat. That's quite absorbent, the bath mat is, so yeah. I'm not surprised it's adding more water. It's 12.6. I don't want to say it is heating, because that's only 0.1 of a degree every like minute or so. But if we think about how long it washes for, so it washes until 52 minutes remaining. So from 156 minus 52, so that's 104 minutes it washes for. So that's up by 0.1. That'll heat up to 20 degrees at the end of the cycle. That is a bit cool. Let's just hope, because it's not very hard. See, this is the thing about having multiple machines, because if one machine breaks, you can always just use the other one. But unfortunately, we don't have that privilege here. Look again. That's the tumble change. Uh, 12.7. Can't hear the heater at all. So the heater's not getting power because there's a heater issue. But I'm thinking maybe a PCB glitch. Because it was heating. Definitely was heating. Heat to 80 degrees in the first 90 degree wash, which is quite hot for this beko, to be fair. It's done 83.6 before, so can't be that. So if it stops for 156, then probably be an issue if it's not heating. But if it stops after 156, then it's probably an issue where there's no power to the element, or there's a PCB glitch or something. And if it doesn't stop, then we'll have to do some troubleshooting. So it's definitely changed the tumble pattern, so it should be heating now. And rapidly. Like not 0.1 degrees every minute. Because that'll be just from the tumbling. That won't be anything special. Like the heating element. As tumbling produces friction, obviously that'll heat the water by a very tiny amount. Sometimes I hate shoulders. Should be at least 1 degree hotter. 12.9. I really don't have high hopes for this. Really don't. By 2:14 it should definitely be heating. And that's 13 minutes into the wash we are now. Actually, judging by the time I've been filming, we're quite a bit longer than that into the wash. Should be good. It's on 63%, so the other thing is, I need to wash this as well, my cookie hoodie, because it's got bits of hot chocolate on it, which I'm not very proud of. I don't particularly want hot chocolate to stain my cookie hoodie, so if this doesn't heat, I might not get those stains. The hottest I can wash that is at 40. I can probably wash at 60, but I'm not going to. I'll say, if it's not heated to about at least 20 degrees by the time it reaches 1 hour 56, then there's definitely something wrong, because that's half an hour into the cycle. Usually this machine's at about 40 50 degrees by the time half an hour's been. Though I'm not convinced the timer's going down at the same time it's been on for, because I've been filming for 28 minutes now, as you can see, and the machine says it's only been on for 16. I definitely didn't spend 12 minutes loading the machine. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I did, but I feel like I only spent about 8 minutes, if that, loading the machine and talking about what we're doing. Also, the reason why I'm making this video is not just because I need to test it, because I can do that off camera anyway. One of the main reasons why I'm making this video as a video, why I'm doing it as a video and not just doing it in my own time, is because I want to see how well testing videos do. Because in future, obviously I'm going to have my big collection of washing machines. Hopefully it'll be as big as Wick's washers at some point. He's got hundreds. But I want to do a testing series of the new stuff I get, like the second-hand stuff I find, or the supposedly broken stuff I get, like things that are going for £10 or something, that are broken in some way or another. And I'd like to do a testing series on all of those. So if this does well, this video, I might do it. And if you're still watching this far, by the way, please do let me know down in the comments below whether you think a testing series would be a good idea in the future. I'm not sure how long people are going to watch this video for. A lot of people like to skip to the main parts, like halfway through heating and stuff, and the spins as well. I noticed in my analytics, lots of people watch the final spin in full. Lots of people watch the intro as well, which is a good thing. People don't really watch the main wash that much. Some people do. Some people watch it all the way through. I can see, because there's no like sections where there's no one watching. There's always at least someone watching. So yeah, in the entire cycles, there's never any places that people don't watch. Apart from on a few videos, I think the LG wall cycle doesn't have people watching at every point, but I expect that with that kind of wash, and I'd expect that with the 8-hour wash as well that I do in future. But that's as applies if you're watching the video all the way through. So that's a spoiler for about November, December time. Maybe January or February in the new year. So January, February, between November and February, I'm going to say that's releasing. Or at least it's being filmed somewhat between then. When it releases will probably be a few months after, if my backlog continues. Because so far I've got a backlog of about 2 months. Or just under 2 months. Probably be till about mid-April now. I'll actually check on YouTube Studio. I can show you a little spoiler. I'll go into my YouTube Studio. So yeah, the last cycle I did, 10th of April at 4:45 is being released. So yeah. So for reference, today is the 21st of February. So that's quite a backlog. But it's because I'm releasing videos every sort of 3 days or so. If I was releasing it every 5 days, however, there'd be a lot longer backlog, probably up to about nearly 4 months backlog. But 5 days is too much, and I think people lose interest. I think I found that when I was doing 5 days, people tend to lose interest, and they're like, this person only does a video every 5 days. People like consistent uploads, to say. So my channel is doing consistent uploads now, more often than it was before. So every 3 days now. It will move to, possibly move to every 2 days nearer like midsummer and towards the end of the year, every 2 days. Then at the end of the year I can do daily, because I'll have multiple machines by the end of the year. Probably 2 or 3 machines by the end of this year. And yeah, so I can then do daily videos from then. Maybe two videos a day if you're lucky. So it's been a while now. I'm going to check that temperature. That is incredibly worrying. That's still 12.9 degrees. No, I think it's dead. Not the whole machine, hopefully, but maybe the heating element. Maybe the thermostat's detecting it's at 90. That could be another thing I'm thinking. Thermostat could be broken. Heating element could be broken. If neither of those are broken, probably PCB. I have been told that the PCBs on this machine are quite glitchy. Which, to be fair, I have found myself that this machine's a bit glitchy at times, but it's never not heated. I don't even have to show you it's at 90 because you can see up in the top corner there. It's set to the maximum temperature. Maximum temperature, maximum spin speed on wash. So it should definitely be heating now, but it's not. So, do I stop it or do I let it? I think I'm going to let it do the whole wash because they're soaking wet. Everything in there's soaking wet now, and soapy as well. Even though you can't see it, I put a whole tub of powder in there, so I might as well just let it finish the wash. You can always skip ahead to the spins if you want, assuming I do let it continue the whole wash. $12.9 still. My thermometer's definitely not broken. I can show you proof, in fact, that my thermometer's not broken because I made an Instagram post on this that you'd have seen yesterday, which I'll show you now. If it oh, there we go. That's in a kettle. You can see the kettle's lid. That's when the kettle's boiling, and you can see scan on the top of the photo there, which means that it's actually scanning the temperature. So that's 101.1 degrees Celsius in a kettle that was currently boiling the water as I was doing that. So that is proof that my thermometer is not broken. So, in case people are trying to, like, you know, defend the machine. It's not the machine's fault. Every machine can go wrong. But this machine's got a broken door lock. Now the heater seems to go. Alright. That is freezing cold. Yeah, that's it. The thermometer's not lying. That is genuinely like it came in. 13.2. That's the temperature that's in this room, roughly. That's half an hour in. So get our fascia to show Mum. That's his 13.1. checking. 13.1. So it's been on for half an hour, 13 degrees. I think it's dead. So time to deliver the bad news. So I'm going to edit this video down. What I'm going to do is I'll upload it. I'll then download the video from YouTube and then edit the video on my computer. Because I can't transfer videos directly from my phone to the computer. So I have to do it through YouTube. Seems to be a bit hotter, 13.6. None of that's going to get very clean. Definitely won't be hygienic. I'll give it 20 more minutes, I think. If it's still at 13 degrees, I'll put it on spin only. Well, rinse and spin. And yeah, we'll just have to cancel it. Then I'll try and just play around, yeah. Nothing different. I have to play around with it a bit because I don't know, I feel like this is fixable. I feel like this problem is fixable somehow, be it a replacement element or I don't think replacing the PCB is worth it really. I think they're quite expensive, PCBs. But I'd always replace the element first. Although saying that, I might take the back off later, just to have a look around, see if check for any loose wires. Because it was heating, so maybe the wire was loose while it was heating. Maybe that's why it didn't heat properly. Maybe that's why it started turning off on the 90 degrees. Maybe it went back in slightly on the 40-degree wash, and maybe that's why it heated to 30. That unbalanced final spin at the end could have thrown the wire out actually, if it was loose. We're not getting anywhere with this, definitely. I'm not sure why it's not cut out either. Which makes me think even more that it's a glitch on the PCB. Because other machines would have cut out by now, definitely, and said an error. The last time I had an error during the wash, it was at about 45 minutes into the cycle. So 2 hour 26 take away 45 minutes is 139, I think. $141 rather. 141 plus 20 plus 40 rather is, yeah, so if it gets to 141 and it cuts out, we know what our problem is. If it doesn't, then it might be a little more ambiguous, but I think I can still work it out. So people that are new to the channel and have been here since when all my old videos were on here, like with the really bad phone, you'll remember the first pillows wash I did on, I think it was just Cotton Eco 60 or just maybe Cotton 60 standard, can't remember, one of those two. Anyway, when I was doing that, about 45 minutes or so into that wash, the machine started draining for no reason. It filled up and drained immediately, and then it stopped the cycle and said it was finished. So I put it into service mode, got EO4, which is something to do with it overfilling. So I'm wondering if this will do the same thing, but display the different error code. See, I thought it was going to stop at 145, at 146 rather. So it's coming close to the point where I think it's going to stop and give me an error. But you never know, it may continue throughout the entire cycle. Unless, because if I did Cotton 60, it would be near the end of the wash when it reached 45 or 50 minutes or so in. So maybe I'll wait till the end of the wash to see what happens. I might try and wash my cookie hoodie as well, if I can fix it. Absolutely no sound from the heater whatsoever, so we know the heater's not on. or you can tell anyway by checking the temperature. 13.3, again heats up by 0.1 degrees Celsius or so. So it's now been 45 minutes since the wash has started, roughly. And it's still going with 0 heat. That click, I think, was supposed to turn the heater off. But I'm not sure. Because crossing 90 does do temperature holding for an awful long time. Let's see if we've got any errors. Or is it spin and pre-wash? I think it might be spin and pre-wash. EO2. I think that's a problem with the heater. So I think we have our issue. I'm going to just double check that by Googling, because I'm pretty sure beko EO2 is for heater issues. So EO2, problem with the heater, ITO. Well, we certainly have an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this machine. So the cycle's finished. As far as I'm concerned, it won't heat. We've got an EO2 error, so 13.5, definitely broken. So, confirmed my suspicions. The machine is broken, unfortunately. I'm gonna run it through a series of different modes. I'm gonna run it through test mode, see if I can work out why it's broken. See if it will heat on test mode. But other than that, that's it for this for the videos until it's fixed. But you probably won't notice that because we definitely won't go 2 months without fixing it. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because the testing is complete. Thank you very much for watching. Don't really want suggestions because I'm going to have a look first and I'll make an update video, and whatever I've not tried in the update video, then you can suggest to me. But it's likely if you suggest something on this video, then I've probably already tried it by the time you get this out. I mean, by the time I get this out and you've seen it. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching anyway. Hopefully we get this fixed. Hopefully it's not something too major, like a PCB issue. I'll check it with multimeter and everything probably either later on or next weekend. I'll have a look at it. But either way, something will happen. If we're lucky, maybe a new machine. So, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.